For the latest film interviews, reviews, and everything making news in pop culture, subscribe to Film Companion now.
I feel the most precious quality about him was that he never pretended. If he's angry with you or he's in love with you, main thing is when he's in love with you or he tells you he loves you, he didn't pretend. He did not say it till he meant it.
I was there in the hospital in the last 2 days. He was losing consciousness, and one of the last things he said, he just looked at me, he smiled, and he said, "I'm gonna die." And I said, "No, you're not." And he smiled again, and he went back to sleep.
Sutapa, Babil, it's so lovely to see the both of you. First of all, really thank you for trusting me with this. I want to start by talking about a clip that released just before the trailer of Angrezi Medium dropped. It was the audio clip that Irrfan had done, in which, with great warmth and wisdom, he talked about the unwanted mehman in his body, and how when life gives you lemons, you have to make lemonade. And he said something like, agar shikanji banaye, ye to aap par hai, but what choice do we have except to be positive?
मेरे शरीर के अंदर कुछ अनवांटेड मेहमान बैठे हुए हैं, उनसे वार्तालाप चल रहा है, देखते हैं किस करवट उठ बैठता है। कहावत है, when life gives you lemon, you make a lemonade। बोलने में अच्छा लगता है, पर सच में जब जिंदगी आपके हाथ में नींबू थमाती है ना, तो शिकंजी बनाना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। लेकिन आपके पास और चॉइस भी क्या है पॉजिटिव रहने के अलावा?
When I see the two of you in this last year, the little I see of Babil, you're very active on social media. Sometimes, Sutapa, you post, or the very rare public outing, like the Goa Film Festival or the Filmfare Awards. I really feel like the two of you have done it. You have managed to be positive in an impossibly difficult year. How have you done it?
It's, Anu, I find it so strange that probably this is the first time instead of Irrfan, I'm sitting with you for this. I can't tell you that how overwhelming that feels, first of all. Secondly, yes, we've done it, but I don't know, I can say we've done it, but we are trying. We are trying to be, that's why, I like many a times, many people have called me, this is the first time, because it's been it will be an year, and I'm still not ready to kind of, meet people, talk to people. I am not. So, I'm good with writing. If you sent me, I'm much better in that than, personal interaction. Babil is, of course, he has to do a lot of stuff. So he's kind of gone ahead and done it. So that's how I am handling it.
Babil, for you?
I was kind of living in a bubble, being Irrfan Khan's son and all of that. And then that bubble burst suddenly, and I did not expect it to burst so soon. And then there's nothing that you just don't have a choice, really. Like, you just have to do what life wants you to do. And that's that, to be honest.
Sutapa, I did see one print interview that you had done in which you talked about the fact that the pain doesn't go away, but you said that the pain is love. It's not a crutch.
Yes.
With. And I want you to tell, what did you mean? What did you mean by the pain is love?
You know what? Like right now, I had not imagined, I had not thought that the moment I look at you, I'll have tears. So, this entire thing is something which I had not experienced earlier, right? When he was there, it was all, so all this experience of emotion, of pain, is why I'm feeling is because there is so much of love inside. And you are calling me because there is so much of love. You remind me of the wonderful interview you had with Irrfan, and, him laughing. And, all those memories is love. So that's what I'm saying. See, tears will flow. They are like, I don't know what. But the love is love is about pain. Love is about pain is, it's not to do with when a person leaves you forever, but you know how it is, no? Love or pain ka to aisa wo hai ki virah and love is always been two side of the same coin.
Yeah.
So even if you're in love and you're together and you're a teenager, and yet, the pain is what is so beautiful about love. you know
You know, speaking of pain, something that really kind of it was overwhelming when to see the outpouring of grief when he passed away. Um, I mean, of course, everyone from the Prime Minister to Virat Kohli was posting condolences on Twitter, but for ordinary people, for people like us who, it felt for all of us somehow that we lost somebody in our family. I don't know, did the two of you ever talk about why that was? Why did we miss him in the way we missed him?
We did, and Babil always asks me also that, Mama, I meet an actor who is like we don't know him, and that guy was crying unconsolably after like 2 months ago. I think he met someone. So you
Yeah.
always ask him, Mama, how did Baba achieve that? From where did this love is coming from? We
I understood that now though,
Tell me.
because he had, when you become an actor, it's everyone's gonna give you a different reason, but initially it's because of fame, attention, popularity, all of that. But after he outgrew that, his intention was to cast a spell on the audience, to leave the audience with something, and he worked really, really hard on that. So when he left, and the people that had watched his films, they had evolved through those films. So someone who's giving the audience that, it it will leave a void, and that is exactly what happened, in my opinion and in my analysis. I think so.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think films, the characters he played, the way he played them, they really taught us how to live, how to be better people, how to be more empathetic people. It just like there's so many of his performances, from the lunchbox to the namesake and to Life of Pi, those little moments that just kind of, they just sit in your soul. But, I think Sutapa and Babil, he also taught us how to die. The dignity and the grace with which he handled what must have been such a tough situation. I mean, I can't even imagine it, and with just just with this sense of humor that was unimaginable to people of like us looking at it from the outside, right? I remember Homie telling me that on the set of Angrezi Medium, they would actually be joking about his illness. He said that the two of us would laugh about this illness. Um, Tell me, what was that last 2.5 years like? Did he ever lose faith, or did he just soldier through it?
My thing is that he did not lose faith. That's what is the only difficult part in this journey, is for me to kind of accept that he was not prepared. And it's so strange with having doctor with an advanced stage of neuroendocrine cancer. We were scared for first 6 months, and then we really overcame, and we really thought that we are going to get out of it.
I'm so sorry. I think Mama never accepted, but I honestly feel in the last 2 years of his life, when he got cancer, he evolved so much as a person, and he had been telling and teaching me about surrendering to the uncertainty of God and life and the Creator. That last 2 years is when he actually achieved that, to surrender completely to the uncertainty. And I was there in the hospital in the last 2 days. He was losing consciousness, and one of the last things he said, he just looked at me, smiled, and he said, "I'm gonna die." And I said, "No, you're not." And he smiled again, and he went back to sleep. But I really feel like he had surrendered completely to the creator, which is something that is there are no words to achieve that kind of evolution. I think.
Yeah, that's for sure. He was very curious about death from, like, since we met, honestly, and it's very interesting because he comes from a Muslim background and I come from a Hindu background, but my natal chart was never made in my house. I never had a natal chart. It's all Irfan's, like, Irfan made my kundali, whatever it is said, and I came to know he was very much. But his thing of astrology was also not really to know whether what will happen to my career.
Right.
He was more curious about what will happen to me, what is in the next life, what is there. So his immense curiosity about death.
Yeah.
In fact, he told Anup once in London, he messaged Anup saying that, you think so much of curiosity, am I drawing death towards me? That's what he asked Anup. That am I drawing death towards me? Because he was it's like death had become like a playmate. Initially very curiosity, then getting scared, fear, and then no fear. He just wanted to be that, when I go, I should just, he was more curious about what happens after.
Right.
Afterlife was more important for him. What happens? Kya hota kya? So, and yes, like Babil said, he had completely surrendered to the uncertainty. But you know how human beings are, because, when he went, this is the first time I think I'm telling this on, like, publicly, that he left for the hospital for an infection, right? So we were treating him here, and the oral medicines were not working. So the doc said, we'll give him intravenous. So he left, and he was weak, and he the whole thing was that he's just going for 3-4 days. So did the doctor say, and so did he know that 3-4 दिन के लिए जा रहा हूँ hospital और 3-4 दिन के बाद आ जाऊँगा, and this is the first time, Anu, I did not go with him because of the COVID, because the doctor stopped. First time in these 2 years that I did not go to a doctor's appointment. He's never gone without me to any doctor's appointment, not even once. So it was a big thing. It was very strange, and I don't know why it seemed so casual, and why it, he never agrees. And first time he told me, "Nahi, madam ko mat bol. Madam ko bolna ghar mein hi rahe, mat aaye." First time, otherwise he would make a lot of noise. He had become very touchy in the illness, like a child.
Like a child. Like 10 minutes, mama would go so like,
like so he was like 24/7 he wanted me. We didn't have a nurse. We didn't hire a nurse in this entire thing. So, it was very interesting that, he is telling me, Anu, ki nahi, theek hai. First time, and without anything, like without any anger, without any tantrum, without anything, he just accepted it. Of course, not extremely happily, but he did not say, his face didn't reveal any displeasure, nothing. I remember so clearly sitting on the edge of the bed, and he had become very weak. So I made him wear the trousers. I combed his hair, and he sat and he held my hand. He got up, and my man took him, and Ajay took him to take, and he got up and he left, and we hugged each other, and there was not even a second of anything of finality in it, and nothing. I mean, I don't know, I will never maybe agree with Babil on this, but he did not go as, no intuition of his was saying that I will not come back home. Right. I don't think so at all.
Yeah,
maybe. And even the how he fought, because the doctor said he was gonna die first day. We all came, and it's like he's not going away. So the doctors, so basically what happened is breathing and everything became, like everything started failing, right? And the doctor said, it's call your mom, he's gonna go. So I don't have a driver's license, but I drove, because it was really close by. I just drove the car and I got mama to the hospital, I to the hospital, and we're all like, waiting for, like, just, that moment. It's a very strange moment to wait for someone's death, and especially your best friend as well. and he just wouldn't go. He, like, for 3 days after the doctor said, he just didn't go. He just kept fighting. He just kept fighting. He just kept fighting. Yeah, maybe I agree with you when you say that he was not ready to go, but I genuinely do feel there was a huge part of him that had surrendered.
Yeah. Surrender is different. The surrender is whenever you will take me, I'll go Kanai. It's like that.
Yeah.
When you sail on the boat with Kanai, So, but then the fact is that mentally you said, okay, but for him, I don't think he thought the time has come. Not at all. I don't think at all. He was reading books. He was planning films with Babil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We were gonna do all.
Yes.
We were
He
really
was planning every tree, which I'm doing right now. But every tree here, the bees and butterflies will come, so we'll plant these trees. Here, this will come. This will happen. So all the tree lists were made, everything. And he was doing everything. I mean, I don't know. I sometimes feel guilty also that, I had so much of faith, Anu, that I instilled that faith in him also that kuch nahi hoga yaar, main sambhal lunga. That's what I really, really feel that, he believed in me so much that,
But I'll be honest, what Mama did for Baba in the last 2.5 years, I don't think any human could do it for any other human. I'm sorry that I did a biased judgment, but if you saw what she did, from cleaning his shit to like taking him anywhere he wanted 24/7 without a break, without a second to herself. And Baba in his chemo, brain goes off, like with all of the medicines, he'd get angry at Mama sometimes and all. And Mama would just take it, and keep loving him. And that is one lesson I've learned from Mama.
That is amazing. It really is. It's we can't even imagine, what level of sacrifice and love and what the depth of that relationship is. Babil, you posted a picture of the two of them in NSD, and
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful picture of the two of you. It must have been a stage performance. You're on a stage, and then you swipe, and there's a picture of two of you 35 years later, and it's amazing to see that kind of relationship. Sutapa, you said that ours was not a marriage; it was a union.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. What did you mean?
Yeah, what I meant was that, marriage has its own expectations. Like my husband will buy me diamonds also. My husband will secure me also.
Wish you on your birthday.
Wish me on my birthday.
Which he didn't remember, right? He never remembered, but
he didn't remember. So, I'll tell you, I'll begin from the beginning. When I saw him, you remember that, in our age, we all read love story of the classic love story book. And then we read Fountainhead and all that we finish before 16, in our age. And here comes this boy whom I looked at, and I thought, it's so strange that today I feel those were my first lines when I made fun with him. I said, wow, what would one say about a 22-year-old boy who has not read love story? And today, if I tell you the reverse is that what would one say about a boy at 22 who had not love story, and how much he had grown, that he began his reading thing with Gabriel Garcia Marquez, because his family was not the type where people would read Fountainhead and Archie's and stuff like that.
correct.
So he began only with Marquis, so naturally, and then in so many years, from where he went where, Anu, is something one would really, and I really want to really tell you this because I really feel it very strongly. I feel the most precious quality about him was that he never pretended. If he's angry with you or he's in love with you, main thing is when he's in love with you or he tells you he loves you, he didn't pretend. He did not say it till he meant it. which is, I find it so different. And I don't think, even not to hurt Babil, but
No,
I
don't
don't think I will have it in anybody will I'll ever know, that somebody who does not pretend. And in our industry, how much do we have to pretend? And that's why he avoided all the parties and going socially, because he couldn't do that. He couldn't small talk. He couldn't say, oh wow, what a film, and he did not mean it from inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and to find somebody in this field with that integrity ki main nahi, theek hai na jaisa hai. And he didn't want to hurt anybody. See, it was not snobbishness. It was just that he couldn't do something which he did not feel from
वो
his
अंदर से नहीं आता है.
आता नहीं था. हाँ, मतलब, और उसको उसमें भी कोई शर्म नहीं. बड़े एक्टर की बगल के मेकअप आर्टिस्ट को बोल, तुम बहुत खूबसूरत हो. He would not remember that I should tell it to the actress, not to the makeup person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like that. He would say it to anybody. And I think that's one quality I will look for, and I will miss so much. I will really miss, because that, and when Babil and you just said कि what is it that हमको अपना कैसे लगता है? अपना शायद इसलिए लगता है क्योंकि उसमें हमें dishonesty नहीं दिखती. और मुझे लगता है वो performance की भी बात है. I think in his performance, which I like, is because if a person in personal life constantly working on a note which is not false, it's always a normal, genuine note. मतलब वो कभी false note पे बात ही नहीं बंदा करता था, तो वो performance में translate तो होगा ही ना. Because it was so much easier for him to crack a not false note.
Yeah.
False note, because वो life में भी नहीं बोलते थे ना false note में बात, कभी नहीं. मतलब when he felt like hugging them, he will. When he will not, he will not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he didn't. There were times.
He didn't pretend.
Yeah.
Right. Babil, what was he like as a father?
Oh, he was my best friend. He was not we didn't have a father-son relationship. He was really my best friend. What happened was when I was 13 to 16, that's when we had a little bit of a rift, because I was growing up. I needed my freedom, and he just didn't understand freedom. Freedom matlab kya? And that's when we had a rift, and there was a time we didn't speak for 1 whole year.
Really?
And usually I would always be the one to go and say sorry to do this, but this time I was like, I'm not. And for the first time, it took him 1 year, but he came to me, he hugged me, and he's like, shh, you've grown up, I didn't want you to grow up. You've grown up. That's the problem. And we just hugged, and there was no breaking us apart after that. We would laugh. There was one thing, I could make him laugh like no one else could make him laugh. No one else could make him laugh like I could. And we would laugh so much together. And I miss that the most. When we talk, we just lie down and we talk for hours, just about nothing and everything, He was my best friend. He was never like a father-son relationship. He was my bestest friend that I would never get. Sorry.
I would find it very difficult, because he could really talk to his sons about everything. Everything as in everything. So, I would really get little scandalized and I'll say, abhi to mat nahi yaar, bahut chote hai yaar, but he would really talk about everything, and he had this thing, about everything. He was I can say, sometimes Sufi, or I can say a Naga sadhu. Matlab, he was not, body was something which he was not embarrassed of anyone's. And it's so interesting that he will always say, he will change his clothes in front of them. And I said, tum log kaise ho yaar? And he said, yaar, body to hai, Allah ne diya, body diya.
It's a biological thing.
And so I don't know. I mean, I was little this thing about that, but it's it's not a normal father-son relationship or a normal husband-wife relationship that you love. And I'm not saying it's a special relationship, but it was a little different kind of a relationship. So it's not easy to find, solace in absence. I mean, I know I will not break down. I'm a very strong person. I really am. I'm a very strong person. So I will not कि अब मैं बहुत दुखी हूँ तो मुझे कोई फिक्र नहीं है मेरे बच्चों का जो होता रहे. नहीं, I will look after my kids. I look after the house. I look after everything. But at the same time, there is not even a second or a moment I would feel कि अरे तो ठीक है ना, अच्छा ही है, अभी मैं ना अपनी मस्ती से जीऊंगी, कौन 24 घंटे देखता था, बस इरफान तो हमेशा अपने पास बिठाए रहते. Not for a second that thought comes. That's the problem. Yeah. That's the problem. Like Babil always tells me, Mama, now it's your time. You fly, you do this, you do that, you party, you do this. But I don't, it just doesn't come from inside. And I give to society. I just don't do anything for society. But मेरे दिल से ही नहीं आता है. I'm not been able to. Maybe one day I will fly. I don't know. I'll fly. And I want to fly. But
I'll make sure.
अभी ना कुछ मतलब I'm not been able to think. मेरे को ऐसे ही लगता है हाँ, but physically नहीं है इस घर पे. But I really don't feel he's not there. I really feel in this room. यही तो पलंग में बैठे थे.
Yeah, right here.
So मतलब you just feel that physically हमको नहीं दिख रहा है, इधर ही घूम रहे हैं. So that's why they're very normal at home. कोई ऐसा मायूसी या मातम नहीं छाया होता है हमारे घर पे. हम सब कुछ कर रहे होते हैं. But मैं ये एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाती कि हाँ फिजिकली नहीं है तो नहीं है. अब वो नहीं मैं
it hits in the nights.
हाँ, it's very difficult to मतलब मैं वो एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाऊंगी कि अब हम उनको भूल जाएंगे और अब नहीं है तो अब हम आगे अपनी जिंदगी जी लो भाई. वैसा नहीं हो पाता है. वो नहीं हो सकता.
Tell me, Babil, you posted a video of a diary that you had given him when you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
In which he wrote notes for you as an actor.
And I had no idea.
How beautiful, yeah. It's just
that was insane for me to find. Because I in the night it becomes really difficult in the daytime because I have so much. I'm working a lot.
Yeah.
So in the daytime, I'm distracted and all. But in the night times, I miss him terribly. So sometimes I go into his room just to look around, open drawers just for no reason. And I opened on a drawer in his cupboard and there was this diary I'd given him. I was like, what is? And I opened it and there were notes on acting. And I'll tell you something. Like this is the first time I'm saying this, I think, in public. One day before he went to the hospital, he's like, पूरी दुनिया मुझसे acting सीखना चाहती है. तुम कब सीखोगे मुझसे? And I was like, अरे यही तो मुझे करना है. Like I got so excited. I was like, कल से शुरू करते हैं. Next day he goes to the hospital and never comes back from the hospital. So then after that to find the diary it was really like how she's saying, like it doesn't feel like he's gone. You know what I mean? It's like it really doesn't. Like. And he had a very, very special connection with nature. So it's just, I don't want to say this because I'm very superstitious, but there are some things that I observe which really, in nature, like through animals and trees and all of these things, and the wind specifically. But I observe some things that I won't go into detail, but it does make me feel like he's still in the presence.
Yeah, you do feel signs, strange signs. Like I went to my brother-in-law's son's marriage, and his native place is called Tonk. Yeah. He's brought up in Jaipur, but his native place from where they were Nawabs of Tonk. So he wanted to go in the end, ki Tonk chalenge and all that, and we didn't go. And this marriage also, because I just gone for 2-3 days and I didn't, in the COVID, I didn't want to fly. So I went by car. So it was a long journey, etc. So I said, ab Tonk kaun jayega. And in the last moment, and I do travel by car a lot to Jaipur. But last minute, suddenly the Google shows me a path saying that, because of some congestions in the NH14 or whatever, 43, and shows me an alternate route which goes via Tonk and right via Tonk. So I traveled all the way from Tonk because Google said, you can't go by the usual route. There is some problem there.
Yeah.
So we turned and we also didn't realize, and I'm going and I said, kaun sa route? And then I said, oh my God, we are going above Tonk. We are going by Tonk. So, I'm getting goosebumps, you just feel, oh my God, what's happening? It's like that.
Yeah.
The whole experience of it is very, very spiritual. Even if you're not a spiritual person, right? Like things happen that really make you feel something and draw you into this spiritual zone. Like I'm very spiritual. Mama was not that spiritual before. And now she's starting to see signs and, see how life sometimes tries to show you the way. And I think that's the most beautiful thing ever, because Baba tried his entire life to make her spiritual or change her or whatever. And now he's gone and life is doing it on its own,
Yeah.
He loved rains.
Yeah.
And you won't imagine, I stepped onto Jaipur, his house, this time, just a month ago. I mean, I just stepped and it rained. And it is, बारिश नहीं होती है इस मौसम में, बहुत गर्मी है.
Right.
And it rained. For little minutes, थोड़ी बारिश हुई, धूप मतलब खुशबू आई वो मिट्टी. Because he always mentioned that खुशबू, यार ये वाली खुशबू नहीं आती बॉम्बे में, ये वाली खुशबू नहीं आती.
वो मिट्टी की खुशबू
है, वो नॉर्थ के साथ कनेक्टेड ना, और वहाँ बहुत धूल है जयपुर में, राजस्थान में. And I just got a whiff of that smell and I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, it is. It's very. And I will also miss seeing films with him. That's one thing I'll really miss.
Did you watch a lot of films together?
Yeah,
always.
There's a projector and everything. He had a whole film setup and everything.
And we also in London, we saw a lot of films. And that's one thing I really miss, is because I see films from very performance point of view. If the performances are not good, मैं घुस नहीं पाती हूँ films में. So I see it, but the performances have to be better, be good in the films to enjoy. So that's what I'm saying. He was not a conventional husband. When I'm saying it's not a marriage is giving gifts, looking at security. Union is about remembering that my wife likes performance-oriented films. तो वो films देख कि ये शुतबा के लिए list बनाते हैं कि ये वाली फिल्में उसको अच्छी लगेगी. So he would make me see films. He know कि I will like certain kind of films, and he, and we watched, and that thing now of seeing the subtext and the text of performances, many people, I have friends who are like really intellectual friends, but वो जो एक मजा आता था ना कि देखते थे short film, हम दोनों एक दूसरे को देखते थे because we liked that actor, whatever he did, वो मैं किसी के साथ share नहीं कर सकती, and I don't think it was so common. It's not about, we both of us liked the same kind of performances.
Right.
So
right.
Lucky,
Tell me, as two people who knew him better than anyone else, what was your insight into his process? How did he create the performances that he did? That just magic kind of non-acting, because you never caught Irrfan acting.
This Mama can answer. I'm still trying to find.
Yeah, it's because I have seen him from when it was acting.
Yeah.
Who not?
Yeah, he was not a great actor when he was in NSD. He really learned.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
No.
Yeah.
See, not a great actor. Like I said, I am very critical of performances. Like I think he mentioned also in one of my wife is my worst critic in the world. I am.
I'm the best.
And I'm very tough I'm a very tough critic as far as performances are concerned. Like for anybody, like everybody said, "Arey Babil ne kitna अच्छा किया." कोई कुछ भी बोलते ना, नहीं, it's like that. I'm a very bad one. I'm not a great mother. Was not a great wife. No. I am very moved about this. कि यार क्या कर रहे थे यार तुम, वो क्या बोल रहे थे ऐसे करके, so it was, so मेरे through pass होना मतलब बहुत मुश्किल का काम था. So but anyway, but what I think is what really it was a journey. You're right. It was a process which spanned for 20 years. So it began from curiosity, in a script, to know everything about everything, like, the research based. That's how he began in NSD. I don't think anybody else worked so hard as much as he did. Nobody. Everybody took a little bit of, ki theek hai yaar, acting course hai. But for him, it was ibadat, it was puja, it was,
Riyaz.
worship. Riyaz. So he took a performance like that. उनके लिए इबादत थी performance, तो इसीलिए वो ढूंढते थे, फिर उसमें से निकलते थे, फिर कोई और तरीका निकलता था. Now I will narrate to you one thing. When at that time in NSD we were being taught Stanislavski method and all that, to be realistic and everything, and we were doing a play with Ram Gopal Vijay sir, Lower Depths. Okay, and it was a Gorky's play, and it was about very lowers, and he actually almost lost it mentally.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So what happened was, one day I came from the mess, and I saw him sitting underneath my table. So I said, "What? Ye to bahut hi zyada hi ja raha," because he was sitting like this in the whole play. He was playing some cobbler or something. I don't remember exactly his profession, but he was to sit in this one of those benches and just sitting there. Huh? और कुछ रोल भी नहीं था यार, उससे बड़े बड़े रोल तो आलोक चैटर्जी के थे, पता नहीं इतनी माता बच्चे क्यों करे.
So that was the difference.
He was under the table, and I got a little scared, and we were young, we are 20 years old kids, and I just see this man sitting under my table inside, and four of us were very good friends. One was from Bangalore, and she's doing theatre right now in Bangalore. One was in Nepal, me and Irrfan. Four of us were very close friends. So I told him to come out, and he's not coming out of under the table. Then I'm telling him to go, and he's looking completely, his eyes are looking different, and I got shit scared. And then I called Sumati, that's my friend. So I called her, I said something. So she's like one of those, very rural and very everything she organizes. Like, she said, "Hey, Irrfan, nikal tu bahar, nikal dek." So, and Irrfan is not coming out. And I am like, then she just took one water bottle and put it, बाल धो दो इसका, उसको बाहर लेके आए. Then she said, "Hey, Sunil, jaldi se auto leke aa." Then we just sat in an auto, and she just decided that खुली हवा में इसको ठीक लगेगा. 3 घंटे हम दिल्ली में ऑटो में घूमते रहे, and finally he started speaking. So he went into some zone, and we've never talked about it actually. I did not tell Irrfan about it after that somehow. I don't know why. So, but I think he just took it too seriously, that role of that poor man and this and that, and I don't know what happened. So he can go to that extreme. He would sit in Lal Killa, because we have this in पुराना किला के पीछे ना, वो सब छोटी छोटी बस्ती हैं और बहुत गरीब मुस्लिम लोग रहते हैं, वहाँ चला जाएगा और वो करेगा. And I was a little snob actually, and so I was little snob. Honestly, I was snob at that time, and I felt यार ये कैसे लोग हैं और ये कैसे बात करते हैं और ये कैसा है and all that. But then but he loved me, but his love for truth and his craft never ever, मतलब मुझे अभी तक याद नहीं पड़ता कि मैं अगर कभी मेरे में हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई, because see, हिम्मत नहीं हुई not because of the male female ratio in the house. हिम्मत नहीं हुई because his passion was greater than mine. My celebrating birthday was much lower thing than him wanting to read that book that night is so important. Right. So it's a matter of passion. It has nothing to do with gender. Yeah. Because, that's what I'm saying. Because I have some friends who said, "Arey, tune apni life puri kharab kar di Irrfan ke aage. You were so talented. You didn't pursue." They do say it. And but I don't know, Anu, I think we are also taking feminism in a very from a very strangely we take. I think it's very feminist for me to look after an ailing partner. It's very enlightening. I mean, to have everybody in my mind, when I work today, I have a different experience. I sought that experience not out of fear, not out of money pressure, not out of anything, out of choice. So even have to have my choice. I'm a feminist. Why should I always choose to be pursuing my career and that's only feminism?
Exactly.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Choose and do what I want to do is feminism,
Exactly.
no?
Correct. Absolutely.
So anyway, so that's how it is. I don't know.
But one
it's
thing I
like,
just want to say, like Baba was Baba. It was not one person. Like Irfan Khan was the whole. Like Mama was. If Mama wasn't there, Baba wouldn't be Baba. Basically, like if she pursued her career, Baba would never reach the level he reached. So it was a collaboration. It was not just one person doing his thing.
Yeah.
It was all of like mostly Mama, but it was the whole family, like
Yeah.
adjusting, trying, motivating, inspiring, and all of that. It
Yeah.
was not just one person, and I completely agree with what you said about feminism.
yeah. And he loved daughters. He loved girls. He, we would make Ayan two chotis and pindi laga ke uski photo खींचते थे बचपन में, we wanted to have, but I'm very happy, Anu, whatever it is, my kids, I'm very happy that my sons are not typical male, and I'm so happy कि कहीं तो यार something somewhere, दो हमने पकड़ पकड़ के इनको कुछ नहीं सिखाया है कि ऐसे ही बोल, बट वो पता नहीं कैसे हुआ, हवा में कुछ था, घर के हवा में कुछ था, तो वो हाँ तो बच्चे मतलब मेरे बड़े तमीजदार हैं यार लड़कियों के साथ, which I really wanted. I didn't want them to be this morons which move around everywhere. I'm sorry.
Misogynist.
But like I see most of them, they are like what they are today.
Yeah.
So
but tell me, I saw that lovely video of you dressing up Babil for the Filmfare Awards.
Yeah, this is Baba.
And that's you. Yeah. And the show is you. So it's nice. And everything will be fine. I wish I could do it.
And it was just so sweet. It was so sweet. And it reminded me of something I'd read many years ago, that children are qualified immortality. And of course Irfan lives on in Babil, and you were dressing him up in clothes, and you said this is Baba's and this is yours and this is Baba's and this is yours. Tell me, do you think that it's going to be hard, Babil, for you to forge an identity separate from him? Is that something that weighs on you in any way?
Okay, see, the pressures and expectations, I was just not ready for it when they first came onto my shoulders. So, and anyways, there's a lot of anxiety inside me. Like I'm a very anxious person. So the anxiety went through the roof, and I started finding ways in life, just like meditation, all of that stuff, to deal with the anxiety. But the first film I'm gonna do is gonna be compared with some of his best performances. Like that is just gonna happen. I can't do anything about it. But a part of me really likes having him by my side. Like I really like that I'm compared to him. I really like that I look like him. So it weighs heavy on me. But to fight for my own identity, I think it's more of an ego thing. Like I don't know. I still haven't figured it out if I want to fight for my identity. All I know, what clarity I have, is that I want to do good cinema. I don't even know if I might act for the next 10 years, and then maybe I'll write and direct. I don't know. But cinema, and taking Indian cinema somewhere where it is respected in the whole community of world cinema, that is what my intention is. Crafting my own identity and all. I don't think about it that much. And I like having him be a part of me.
Yeah.
But as a mother, Anupama, I find this very equal. I found it, the entire movement which happened after Sushant's suicide. Half of it was so moronic again. I use the word again and again, but it was like people with no brains at all, who were talking of certain things in a certain way. So, but I don't follow social media that much because, I've seen it in Irfan because Irfan never did. Half of it was left with me, half of it left with Manpreet. He was not to be, part of it. So, but of course, I wrote something. I had to check with him, and he would correct that one. And it's so funny. I was telling Babil, the family statement we gave after Irfan in half an hour, we would have to take 20 days to write that and send if Baba was there. He would say, "Why did you use this? नहीं, ये बहुत pity वाला लगा। अरे ये कॉमा क्यों आया? अरे ये बहुत वैसा लग रहा है, ये बहुत वैसा लग रहा है." And imagine, and my friend, I have a producer friend, television producer friend. She said, what we just feel so happy when she writes and narrates it to us, and we are and यहाँ तुम कितना torture करते हो मेरे friend को. तो मतलब एक कॉमा, एक फुल स्टॉप यार, अनु, he would
perfectionist, absolutely.
Perfectionist. You were absolute perfectionist.
Yeah.
What I was saying is, but sometimes I read something in a journalist's page in Facebook, a comment, and he's a senior journalist. So I don't want to name him, but my whole thing is that I knew him and I respected him, and Irfan knew him very well and he respected him. So he just wrote about something about Babil, about isn't it my son won't be an actor because I am not an actor. But Babil Khan has become, not even just after 1 hour of his father's demise, he's becoming an actor. Now, I just found it's not about whether somebody should talk about nepotism or not talk about nepotism, but talk sense. Just talk sense. You are a journalist. Find out whether we gave any, we pushed him, and his father's not even here. So what are you talking about nepotism? And what are you talking about? His father's not promoting him with his money. Or, we are not launching him with our money, and we are not producing a film for him. I mean, just talk sense, That's it. That's the only time I reacted. I said, why don't you tell your son to go and audition?
Exactly.
I said, that's what I told my son.
I auditioned. I
never went and called up the producer.
Yeah.
I
know.
So that's what is very irritating, but I think that's the only way is just इवेंचुअली कुछ फर्क थोड़ी पड़ता है. किसी के बारे में भी कोई भी कुछ कहे, उसका लाइफ ट्रैजेक्टरी कोई नहीं बदल सकता है. Nobody can change that.
Yeah.
Hard work of Irfan's nobody could change. है ना? आप चाहे थोड़ा यहाँ पर कुछ भी है, आप बोलोगे हाँ यार ये बहुत करता है. एक तो इरफान को देख के ना थोड़ा सा इंटिमिडेट भी होते थे लोग. उनको लगता था he's so serious types and this and that. हाँ, जो भी है. But he was very shy. It was a thing of shyness कि वो ना इधर देखेंगे ही नहीं एयरपोर्ट में. मैं बोलूँगी यार देखो अनिल जी जा रहे से हाय टू हिम. He wouldn't. He अपने कान में कुछ हेडफोन लगा गाना सुनते हुए चले जा रहा है बंदा. कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. All I'm saying is nothing matters if you are hard working.
Absolutely.
If Babil is not hardworking and tomorrow he doesn't get anything, he doesn't have anybody to blame. It's on him. No trolls, nothing. No trolls can make his career. No trolls can break his career. It's him.
One thing, I'm so sorry we're diverting from my father to me. Just for 1 second, I would like to say, I wanted to be an actor since the 8th grade. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, it's not like suddenly that he died and I'm like, okay, now I'll be an actor. I wanted to be an actor since the 8th grade. I did film in my 11th grade, and I asked my father, I was like, Baba, mujhe actor banna hai. And he's like, oh, gaye tum.
Yeah, I was also not supportive at all initially. I just didn't want him to become an actor.
Yeah, and I was like, why? And he's like, bro, like, how are you? Like, what? The expectations you're gonna have on you. And I was like, no, because ego, na. So I was like, no, you don't know me and all that. So he's like, okay, if you really, really want to be an actor, go study film first. Go understand what cinema is, or understand what story is, then what an actor's part is in the story. So I went and studied cinema and film in London. And I was supposed to come back and learn from him.
And also go for another acting course
exactly.
in New York.
Yeah.
So that you first learn filmmaking then you learn acting, then you get into acting.
Right.
The plan.
Yeah.
For his and his father, I always never wanted.
Mama didn't make a single phone call to anyone. I genuinely auditioned and I got rejected a lot of times before I got this whatever.
Yeah.
But I got rejected a lot of time. I'm auditioning constantly. Like I'm not. I know it's still. I understand people's frustration with nepotism, and all I can do about that is work hard and just make them happy with my performance. There's nothing else I can do.
Yeah. Sutapa, tell me, what about your writing and producing?
Say. I'm telling her since when what a writer she is.
So no, Anu, right now, so it's not. I'm not doing anything professionally because there have been a lot of loose ends in terms of like family also, no. So there are a lot of things which have to get settled and everything. But yes, I will write for sure. Produce, I'm not very sure. I don't know. But write, yes, for sure I will write because because let's be very honest, like there were things when I did not interfere in Babil's life or Ayan's life and left it for Irrfan. Now, it's like really playing both the roles together.
Yeah.
So it does take a toll in that term. And more than toll, it's very unnerving at night sometimes. You do feel lonely and you don't know what to decide. And you don't know whether you're making the right judgment and, all that. And they are not kids, one is going to be 18 next month. This is 20, he is 22. So they won't listen to everything I tell them, right? So I don't know how to, that parenting pressure is very much there right now. Yeah. Too much. It will take a time to kind of, settle down till they show they are responsible, which I'm hoping they will soon. So once they really become responsible and show, then I can, a little bit relax. And writing is like like acting में some चाहिए होता है ना, लिखने में भी some चाहिए होता है.
Correct.
वो इरफान का मुझे यही अच्छा लगता था परफॉर्मेंस में और पर्सनालिटी में. He had a some. लोगों में जो सम होता है ना, वही परफॉर्मेंसेस है. आप देखो वो एक होता है, and it's nothing to do with language, nothing. You see a Japanese actor and you can see that he has a sum in his performance.
There's a certain stillness, no? There's that gravitas.
Stillness.
Yes, that sum is that stillness. That stillness is, that's universal. That's universal with performance. If it's there, you are a good actor.
Yeah.
And if it's not there, तो बहुत time लगेगा. Yeah, you will be above average, but you can never be excellent.
Right.
You have to. I'm sorry to be giving verdict on acting, but I'm telling you, unless the people have achieved that stillness in performance, it's not possible to be termed excellent.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say is I saw there's another really lovely video of the two of you. Arm in arm singing Tu Jahan Jahan. Oh my God. I just, that really broke me. That really sort of made me cry. It's so beautiful. And I don't know, I just think it's true. It's true. And not just for the two of you. He's with us in all those performances. He's with us in the legacy and the generations of actors that he has molded. People from Jaideep Ahlawat to Fahad Fasil, who are different as actors because of what Irrfan did. So I just feel like he's here. Like you said, he's here. Hannah? I'm sorry. I was not.
No.
I was hoping to get through this without crying, but I can't. But Babil, you and I will have a date when we will be permitted to speak about your acting career, and we will reconvene to talk about that. Yeah. And genuinely, I wish the best for both of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Anu.
I just also want to tell you the interview that he did with you was my favorite interview.
Thank you.
It really was, and he really opened up. He never opens up like that in interviews, and I feel very comfortable with you. And I would love whenever that life gets us together again.
Arey, life, to I'm here. The powers that be have to allow it.
Yeah, and the NDA has to allow it.
Correct. So when all the red tape goes away, when Manpreet allows it,
Yeah, this little.
then we will get together again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Anu.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.